Welcome into Picks and Parlays Power Hour. I'm your host, Hannah Mears. You can follow me on Twitter at HannMears. Better yet, like, subscribe, follow along, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of our Picks and Parlays action. We are live on Power Hour Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget also, you can take advantage of NoHouseAdvantage.com. No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Sign up now using promo code PNP at NoHouseAdvantage.com or download the app on the App Store to get a first deposit match up to $50. So take advantage of NoHouseAdvantage.com. Now, my first guest on Picks and Parlays Power Hour is Craig Trapp, and he is here to talk some NCAA college football rapid fire. 5 games, 5-ish minutes. Let's waste no time. Our first game up, Craig, we have Texas favored at -2.5 at Kansas State. Now, Kansas State, 4 out of 5 times has lost, or no, it's been decided by one score, I want to say, the past couple times these teams have played, right? But yeah. Kansas State looks pretty good this year. So how are you thinking this one plays out?
I think the wrong team's favored. Kansas State, they have been unbelievable. I mean, it's like people keep making excuses on why they're winning instead of the opposite. Like, a lot of times people make excuses when they lose. When they win, they're like, well, Oklahoma's quarterback was knocked out. Well, this is like, let's just say they're a really good team. And I think they take care of business at home. I think they win money line, but I'm going to take the points. Weird things happen, missed extra points, that kind of stuff. So 2.5, we'll take it. If you wait till game time, I'm guessing you might be able to get this at 3. But either way, like I said, I think Kansas State wins outright.
All right, Kansas State. We like that. Craig, also, I want to remind everybody that if they like what you've got going on, they can get free VIP text plays for an entire week. That's a lot of money that you can win by just texting your full name to 775-403-5400. It's right there on the bottom of the screen. Our next NCAA college football game, Texas Tech at TCU. TCU has been tremendous. They're undefeated, 8-0, favored at -9.5, the total at 69.5. I mean, can these two teams put up the points?
Well, this is a team that, because they're undefeated, I think they're getting a little too much credit here, in my opinion. So I'm staying away from the side in this one. This is a TCU team that's played. They've been really close in a lot of these games. Sometimes they'll score right at the end, so maybe the score's not as indicative, as close as really what it was. And they probably should have lost to Kansas, to be very honest, and knocked the Kansas quarterback out in the first half. So I think you stay away from the side. You just play the total. This is a Texas Tech team that I think is going to have to score to stay up with TCU. TCU, fun to watch on offense. They can run, they can pass. I like what they do. Let's take the over. It's almost too easy because I thought this was going to be 72-73. Yeah. I still like the over. So 69.5, but I'm not questioning it. Let's take the over. TCU offense scores big.
Yeah, especially after what they did against the Mountaineers. They found out the hard way how good TCU's offense really is. Our next game, we've got Wake Forest favored at 4.5 at NC State. I'm a bit confused about this one because of NC State's defense. I know their quarterback's out, but I'm a little confused by this. What is your thoughts though? That's what's more important.
I guess people think, well, they can't play as bad as what they did at Louisville. I mean, what they turned over 6 times or 7 times, something stupid.
8 times, 6 of them in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, and like what? How many pick sixes? I mean, it was not pretty. I don't expect they'll be that bad again. But this is an NC State team that's way better than Louisville on defense. So yes, NC State's offense, it's like how they score, I don't know. They're probably going to have to run the ball, short passing game. But Wake Forest defense isn't good. So let's take NC State at home plus 4.5. This is a game I don't think NC State probably wins. I think Wake Forest wins, but I think it's really close. So a field goal plus, I'll take it, NC State.
Yeah, and NC State could maybe turn the tables, like you said, defensively, like a pick 6. They're like a pick 6 away from keeping it really close or winning out. So, heck yeah. All right, let's go with the Wolfpack. Alabama favored -13.5 at LSU. Gosh, you just really hope this Tigers team can get it together sometimes. You just root for them a little bit.
Hey, get it together.
Do they do it against Alabama? Right? Alabama's a little unsure about themselves this year. This could be the one.
Well, I think people are like waiting for the shoe to drop with LSU because they remember those losses more than they remember the wins. It's like they're 6-2 on the year. They're 4-1 at home, 4-1 against the spread at home. But they're playing Big Brother. They're playing Big Brother Alabama. I worry about the full game. Double digits, a little too much for me. But Alabama still is embarrassed what happened at Tennessee a couple weeks back. That defense played amazing last week. I think that's the key again this week. I'm taking Alabama first half -7. I think that's the safer play than the full game. Because, if you're
Yeah.
winning by 14 late and, something stupid happens at 13, it's too many points, in my opinion, on the road in an SEC game. But the first half, I think Alabama pounces on them early.
Yeah, the longevity of that one I would be concerned about as well, especially with the struggles you've maybe seen or, when
Yep.
you have the history between teams, all the things. So Alabama first half -7. Now the marquee matchup that everyone in the country is going to be watching. Tennessee at Georgia. Georgia favored at -8, total at 66. I don't know how I feel about that spread. Is it too much? Are we not giving Tennessee credit still, or is the Georgia Bulldogs defense just too much?
Well, the national champion, has had their issues this year. Remember, they had to come back against Missouri. They've been really good since then, but Tennessee is the best offense in the country. And I don't care how good your defense is, and Georgia's defense is deep and they're good, but they're young at some spots. I think Tennessee's going to score some points. The only reason I'm worried about Tennessee, and let's just say I'm taking Tennessee plus the 8, but I'm worried a little bit. It's a public underdog. There's a lot of people on Tennessee, including all the big pundits out there. They're all saying Tennessee, Tennessee, Tennessee. Usually when that happens, not so good. So plus 240 on the money line. I wouldn't talk anybody off of it. This is a very, very, very good team. I would take the points though. I think Tennessee. I also think the first half, Tennessee first half, because I think you can start to plan up once you see that speed, once you see that offense at halftime. Kirby Smart and company, good defensive coach, will make some adjustments. I do think Georgia pulls out a close win late, high scoring game though, which is not the way Georgia usually wants to win games. But I'd take Tennessee plus the 8, and then sprinkle the first half as well.
Yeah, I like this game. I'm so excited to watch this. I can't wait to see what happens. And this is going to put Tennessee's offense to the real test. Can you rise to the occasion? You can score all the points you want, but can you get past the Georgia Bulldogs defense? Thank you so much. That is our NCAA Rapid Fire. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We're live, Picks and Parlays Power Hour, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Craig, it is now time to talk some NFL. The Minnesota Vikings making some moves in the trade deadline, favored at -3.5. They are going to the Washington Commanders. I think this one's going to actually be a pretty decent game, total at 43.5. Where are you leaning in this matchup?
As bad as Washington has been, they're 4-4 on the year. That's like, and they're obviously in a division that's got two really good teams, but with that extra wild card now, there's still a chance for this Washington team. Now they have a really tough matchup. I don't know how the Vikings are kind of going under the radar at 6-1, maybe because Philly's been good, Dallas has been good, so there's been a lot of other things to talk about in the NFC. But this is a very good Vikings team. Long as Kirk Cousins isn't playing in primetime, where he's just god awful the last 4 or 5 years, he's been really good. And this Vikings team, after they had a game against Arizona last week off the bye that it very easily could have laid an egg. They did not. This new coaching staff has this Vikings team well. I have to continue to fade the Commanders until they can slow down a really good team, and that's this Vikings team. So I'm going to take the Vikings. A lot of people giving the Vikings or the Commanders too much credit for beating up on Aaron Rodgers. It's like everybody's beat the Packers. So I throw that one out the window. That's not actually a good win, in my opinion, anymore, the way this Green Bay team is. So give me this Minnesota Vikings team at 3.5. That half does worry me. So if you are able to buy a half a point, buy the half a point, because you'd much rather get a push at 3 than a loss at 3.5. So to me, you take the Vikings and you buy the half a point. Let's take Vikings. And I think this defense is the key late. I think this Vikings team will get a nice turnover late and get us a nice win here.
Yeah, they've got a fun offense to watch too. They can run the ball, they can throw the ball. They just landed a tight end from Detroit. Saves him
Detroit
from
Lenny.
A Lions.
Detroit Lenny. Thank you, Detroit Lenny. That's what they should say. Hey, let's go out and get Hawkinson. And, I don't expect him a ton this week, but I would expect here in the future, especially against the Packers, the Bears, a lot of teams in their division where tight end play, a nice completion, first down completion in the middle of the field will be key come, second half of the season.
Yeah, good tight ends can really change the game. All right. Also, if you like Craig's picks, make sure you take advantage right now of a texting promo he has. You can get free VIP text plays for an entire week. Text your full name, 775-403-5400. Good luck, Craig. Always a pleasure. Everyone, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour is live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Now it's time to bring in one of our twins of our old sports bets. We're bringing in Nick. He's here to talk. Oh, no, we've got Lee first. My goodness, look at me just passing right through, Lee. Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right, we've got Lee here to talk some college football. Oregon State at Washington. Oregon State is not favored in this matchup. Both of these teams are 6-2. The Beavers are not favored because they need to slow down what Washington is bringing on offense. So tell me what you think is going to happen in this one.
Yeah, this is being played Friday night. We're not really crazy about a side or the total in this game. In fact, we're going to probably look when we get closer to kickoff and potentially bet in-game on it due to the weather. But before we get to that, Washington historically really good in this series. They've won 9 of the last 10. The Beavers did win last year as a 2.5-point favorite at home. But as we mentioned, the weather's right now is calling for 81% chance of rain, 17-mile-an-hour winds. We feel that will favor Oregon State in their rushing attack against Washington in their number 1 ranked passing attack. In doing a comparative schedule assessment, the Beavers have played the much tougher schedule. They've had games against Fresno, USC, and Utah. Washington's toughest opponent faced to date would be UCLA, and they lost by 8 points in that game. They're outgained by 89 yards. On paper, Washington has the 21st best rushing defense in college football. They give up just 110 rushing yards per game, but those numbers are really misleading as they face 5 offenses that rank 82nd or worse in rushing offense. So we like the Beavers offense to get on track here with the rushing game. They're 30th in the nation in rushing offense. They average 195.8 yards per game rushing. And so we expect that to kind of be the difference in what could be bad weather. You know, we'll side with a ugly rush, potentially doubling dog in this one.
All right, go ahead. We'll flash up Lee's pick. Oregon State Beavers at +4.5. He's saying that they're going to be able to get it done, and he's a whole meteorologist there as well. So it's great that you looked into that for everyone, Lee. Everyone, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. All right, Lee, we've got some NFL to talk as well. The Tennessee Titans at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs favored at -12.5. I saw this open at 10.5. And obviously, based off of the Titans this season, I think this is where it's at. And the Kansas City Chiefs are the Kansas City Chiefs. They now also add Kadarius Toney to an already elusive offense that was hard to stop enough with Patrick Mahomes. But can Derrick Henry and the Titans at least cover the spread? Do you like the spread in this one? Where are you leaning?
Again, another lean on this game. We've got a bet that we like better that we'll get to at the end of this. But I would lean towards the Chiefs -12.5, right? It's kind of strange that a 5-2 Titans team is getting 12.5 points in this matchup. But their 5-2 record's very misleading. They've been outgained in every game but one this year. They've got a net yardage differential of -0.6 yards per play. Their 5 wins have come against teams with a combined 13-22 record. Their 2 losses have been to winning teams, the Bills and the Giants. And a great comparison, they went to Buffalo and were +10 earlier in the season and got beat by 34. Kansas City's 4-3 against the spread, their last 7 off a bye with a net differential of +14 points per game. As of this posting, we don't know if Titans quarterback Tannehill will start. Malik Willis was just 6 of 10 last week for 55 yards passing. Yeah. But obviously, Derrick Henry had a huge game rushing. But again, that was against the Texans last week, and they're last in the NFL in rushing defense. Chiefs are 3rd. They only give up 92 rushing yards per game. Mahomes should put up big numbers here. They've got the 2nd-ranked passing offense going up against the 24th-ranked Titans passing defense. So I would really recommend this game. I'd probably hook Kansas City up in a 6-point teaser with some plays. I'd look at Patrick Mahomes' player prop over the passing yard total. So that's kind of what I'm going to look at in this game.
Yeah, that's definitely one I was gonna peek at too, just to see, but it might be like extremely high as well,
Yeah.
knowing those stats. So it might be hard to take it in one of those games as well. All
Yeah.
right, but Lee's official pick on our Power Hour is Kansas City Chiefs covering the spread at -12.5. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow along. Picks and Parlays Power Hour is live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Lee, thank you so much as always for your picks.
Thanks, Hannah.
We are live, Picks and Parlays Power Hour, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, Hannah Mears, and now it's time to bring in Nick Earl to talk some college football. UCF right now favored at -3.5 at Memphis. Total sitting at 58.5. This line moved. I think it started at a 6.5, moved to 3.5. A lot of money right now is on Memphis, but what do you like in this one?
Yeah, I think when the line opened up, that was the correct line, and I did not expect that to move that way. I would shop around with your lines because I'm seeing a bunch of 3.5s, but there are some books that do have threes, and that's what I got for this game. I got the Knights at -3. We have UCF coming in off of a win against Cincinnati the previous week. After getting blown out against ECU the previous week before that. This is a team that's competing for the top of the American Athletic Conference. Memphis is a team that I was expecting to fall off a little bit this year and have fallen off a little bit this year. They're coming in off of a 38-28 loss against a very good Tulane team that's taken a big step up. They lost in overtime to ECU the week before. And they lost to Houston the week before that. So they're on 3 straight losses. They're kind of falling out of the AAC mix here, and I'm expecting UCF to continue to try to push to try to make that AAC championship game. I have this game personally power ranked around 7. So like I mentioned, I thought the line was more correct when it opened rather than what it's come down to now. This UCF team, I think, is still a very good team, and I look for them to take care of business here against Memphis.
Yeah, they have the 5th best offense in FBS right now as well. So I was kind of confused by this line dropped so heavily without any major factors happening. But Nick's pick, UCF, -3.5. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Nick, I'm always really excited to talk Thursday Night Football props with you, and I make sure to get my Mearsy Minute done before I do this, just so we can compare a little bit and compete with what we have. Philadelphia Eagles, my gosh, they embarrassed my Steelers the other day. They are at the Houston Texans. The Texans are struggle city this season, to say the least. So I need to know what your 3 prop bets are going into this.
Yeah, looking at this spot here, well, for starters, I've already played the side and the total in this game. I was able to get it up to 14.5 for -120 with the Houston Texans. I did play the Texans on the side and the under on the total. So it's always difficult to find plays when you're playing, to find props when you're playing unders. So what I've come up with here was I have Davis Mills over 22.5 completions. And this kind of does follow a little bit of a game scripts as well, because if the Eagles are going to be leading, which I believe they will be leading in this game, but just I think 14.5 is way too many on the road, or 13.5, 14, whatever it is. There's just way too many points on the road for a primetime game. And if we're looking that the Eagles are going to be leading in this game, I'm going to look for Davis Mills to throw the ball a little bit here, because they're going to be playing from behind. Which also on the other side, when you're looking at a team that's going to be leading, I like the under in this game. So I'm going to look for the Eagles to pound the rock a little bit in this game as well. Jalen Hurts over 41.5 rushing yards and Miles Sanders over 80.5 rushing yards. When we look at what the Texans have done this year, they're one of the worst teams. They're 30th in the league in total yards allowed, and they're last in the league, giving up 186 rushing yards per game. So the Eagles should be able to pound the rock down their throats in this game. I'm looking for like a 27-14 type of game along those lines, where that's kind of where I have this game looked at. I think this is too many points for the Texans, but this is kind of where the game script I have planned out goes here, is Texans having to throw the ball a little bit and the Eagles being able to run the ball.
Here's what I think in this one. I won't give all my prop bets because I'm going to force people to go watch my Mearsy Minute over on Picks and Parlays. But the team total for the Eagles, I have higher than that because their defense is suffocating. And with the additions that they made. And on top of that, I watched them absolutely obliterate the Steelers secondary. And I don't think the Texans have anywhere near a defense that the Steelers do. And that's saying little at the moment, but I think you know where I'm going with that. So I think that Jalen Hurts and the Eagles can do a lot. I do like the Miles Sanders rushing. I do think they can utilize him a little bit more than they were able to last week. So I think they'll definitely use his legs where they can. But we'll see. Everyone's going to go see what I think. But I think a passing game with the Eagles is going to be the way to go. And I think that they can put up big points in this matchup. I know Thursday Night Football, we're always saying stay away from it, but I just saw too much and against a Texans team that's a little questionable at the moment. But I'm excited for that because it's going to see, we're going to see in a short week, can this offense really do what it just did against the Steelers, if not more. But thank you so much, Nick. Always appreciate your time. Again, those are his 3 best Thursday Night Football prop bets. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Power Hour is live Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Thanks so much for tuning in.